What's up, everybody? Yep, it's that time of the week again, bitch. It's time for another episode of Old School, New School Comedy Podcast. And I am your piece of shit host, Christy Miller. And yes, Friday was my birthday, so fuck all y'all. I'm 53 now, so now I can curse everybody out legally. I don't even know if 53 is a really good age for that, but whatever. I'm going with it. So I got to spend Friday night with this gentleman here. He runs the UGG Comedy Club, and he's based out of 1 and 1 down in the East Village, Thursday through Saturday, right?
Yep, Thursday through Monday.
Oh, we got extended. Yeah. I live for that. So Thursday through Monday, the UGG Comedy Club down on 1 and 1 on First Avenue and First Street in the East Village, and he also has rooms in Brooklyn. So check him out, and you may have seen him on Crashing on HBO, and he also has his PNF series on YouTube.
PN and Friends.
PN and Friends.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. You know, I'm a mess. So.
PF Flyers and Gang. You know, it's a sneaker company from the 1940s.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think I still have a pair. Anyway, I'd like to introduce to you my buddy Todd Montessi.
Thank you, Chrissy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Is it so?
Finally, I'm getting up at the comic strip by your podcast, but that still counts. I'm kidding. I've performed here, bigly, but not recently. Why Sleepy Joe? I don't know.
That's hilarious.
By the way, I'm gonna quit stand up and be a professional Black Trump impersonator. That's where the money's at. So, this is my debut. You've seen my debut.
Black Trump, the biggest oxymoron on the planet.
Yeah. Blump.
Yeah. So you're not gonna rent to yourself?
I went to my white side piece. Melania.
God, that AI robot.
Right.
Somebody check the back for that AA battery.
Yeah.
Be best.
Right. So how's it going with you, Chrissy?
I'm great. You know, it's my new year. You know, you know, and this is it. So here we are.
So you're a Virgo, right?
Yes.
Do you follow these astrology, or are you just like, I don't do that shit? Like,
no, I love astrology because I follow astrology only for the planet placements. Mm-hmm. Because when planets are fucked up, the whole world gets fucked up.
Right. It's not because of your cycle or being a woman and of nature and whatever.
Why you call me an emotional bitch?
No, I'm not.
I love it.
That was kind of scary. That was very emotionally bitchy right there for a second. I was like, uh-oh, spaghetti-o.
Uh-oh, we're getting a little loud here.
I'm sorry, I'm very loud. I am black, so in case you don't see this.
Let's just do this. Yeah. Now talk.
Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Perfect. All right.
Now watch me talk like Michael Jackson. Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, I hope you hear me.
So I love your stand-up, and because it's just different, and you're not like the thing I love is like I was just telling someone, it's like, you know, another comic. I was like, you know, he's not like a typical black comic where white people do this and black people do this, and then this is ridiculous. Like, you're so smart. And you have a totally different point of view when it comes to stand-up. And I love it. It's so fresh. It's so refreshing whether you're black or white. Whether he's black or white.
So you're saying to add more eating pussy material. That's what you're saying, right?
If you want to play the black clubs, yes.
Yeah, I do. It just doesn't come up. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I just got to be like, y'all eat pussy, y'all eat that boo-boo. I got to make a new, like, phrase for pussy that's like mine, trademark it,
yes.
And then, like, make T-shirts. Make that cashola. You know what I'm saying?
That's your merch.
Yeah.
The new word for poontang.
Yeah, poodity? No, that sounds like, no.
That sounds like puberty.
Yeah,
that sounds like Mike Tyson saying puberty.
Yeah.
Puberty.
Yeah. Or Mike Tyson saying, you know, P-diddy. Poobity. Great.
So,
well, you're great too. I really appreciate you for doing our shows and all that stuff.
Oh, I love doing your shows because it's like I like to make fun of the dipshits that are there.
Yeah, it's kind of it's funny. It's kind of like a frat bar. It's a sports bar, so there's like a lot of like frat young like post college people, like 23, 24, you know, and they don't know comedy yet. So it could go either way, where it's like really great crowds, or it's like, hey man, you offended me because you know, societal. But that's, you know, that's once in a while. But it's really fun shows.
I've played your room when it was packed, and it is fire. Mm-hmm. And it's so much fun. But it's so funny when you get those group of kids that have only watched stand-up through TikTok.
Right.
and they don't understand what live comedy is.
Right. So they like start recording you while you're performing.
Yeah.
And some comics don't like that. Me, I'm like, go ahead, record me, post me on TikTok, spread the word and gospel of me.
I let them. I'm like, you want to record me? I'm doing something right that you want to get this on tape and put me viral, and then it never works.
Right. Because you're not being like, if it was something that made you look bad or embarrassing, then the algorithm's going to be like, all right, let's send that out there to everybody. Let's make that person look bad. Let's cancel that person. But if it's something where it's like, oh, well, I'm doing great and I'm being enlightening. Well, whatever, enlightened.
It's a new word and it stays.
Yeah.
I'm being enlightening.
Yeah. See, that's the black part of me where it's like, oh, look, he's so colorful with the English language. I'm just being enlightening, y'all.
Word.
Yeah, you took my word. I was going to say word, but yeah. Well, you're more blacker than me right now. Dang it.
I'm more blacker than most comics. You'll find out that. You know, that was all my years of mooning, so really brought out, black like. I was going to call my first album when I was with him Black Like Me. I thought that would have been hilarious.
I could see Mooney. Did Mooney like sit you down one time and went, all right, Christy, let me tell y'all something. You ain't black, honey. And then just give you like a 2-hour like.
Nope. He loved it. He goes, oh, homie, you are, homie. Like, you are too, I love it. I love every Negro minute of it. And I can't say that word. I don't want to get canceled. But it was so funny because he would go up, like I would feature for him, and then he would go on stage after me, and he goes, so what'd you think of the white lady? And they'd applaud because I'd kill it because his rooms were fire. Like his crowds are like Dice crowds because they're just extreme hardcore fans. Like Mooney fans are hardcore Mooney and Dice fans are hardcore Dice. So it's the same ideology, just one extreme black and one extreme white. Who cares? But it's the same. It translates well in both rooms. And the funny part was he'd be like one of my favorite times. There was remember when Nicole Richie drove backwards on the 134 freeway and got arrested?
Yeah, like 2000-ish.
Yeah, about the mid 2000s, like 05, 06, 07, somewhere in there. I forget what year, but it was around that time.
The peak of Paris and their show or something.
Exactly. So Nicole Richie gets popped for driving backwards drunk on the 134 freeway, and it was hilarious. So he went up on stage and he goes, "So what'd you think of Christy, the white girl?" He goes, and they applauded, and he goes, Lionel has his daughter, I have mine. And they lost it. He goes, don't catch her on the 134 tonight, darling. And it was so funny, because it was so poignant. I'm like, you are such an ass. Because he was like my father.
Right.
But
How long have you known him for?
Since my first week in stand-up in 95.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how'd you meet him? Like, was this
at the comedy store when I was working there?
Oh, wow. Oh, were you like a waitress? Or like...
I was a waitress.
Oh, wow.
I was a waitress to do open mics and start stand-up. That was my thing.
Smart.
Yeah,
smart.
so
You're
that's
smart.
how I got in.
You're smart.
Very smart. And that was back when waitresses weren't allowed to be anywhere near the stage or talk to comics when Mitzi was around.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, it was back in the day. I broke those barriers, but they didn't put that in the comedy store.
Right, in the book, right.
Why would they put me in that? Because, I only did that, Anyway, not bitter. Party of one. But, he loved it. And he'd be like, like he'd look at the audience and goes, look at the black people. You're like, oh, look at her. They looked at Christy and like, oh, she knows. Like I know their secrets. Like I know the whole culture. It's so funny. But he loved it. He encouraged it. He pulled that out of me. Like growing up in the Bay Area and stuff. He really pulled that out.
That's amazing. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Wow. That's great that you had that. Like, did you meet like Richard Pryor as well?
Oh, I met Richard Pryor. I would go to his house with Mooney. Mooney. Like we'd go to Richard's house to visit him when he was too sick to come to the comedy store anymore because he was doing 3 nights a week when I started there. So I got to meet him then, and it was like, oh my God, here's Richard Pryor. Like, oh my God, I'm dying, right? So, but then as he got sicker, the shows got fewer and far between, and then it just got canceled altogether. And then Mooney would be like, come on, homie, we're going to see Richard. We're going to go visit him. So we'd go there and talk shit, I would make him laugh, and I'm just sitting there going, somebody pinch me. Richard's in bed because he was very sick, and he had one of those big giant console TVs, and he would watch Mannix all day. Like he loved it. And Mooney would sit in the rocking chair in the room, and I'd lie on the bed with Richard, and I'm like, oh, Richard, look at you, fucked up and still getting white pussy in your bed. We'd die, we'd roast him, we would talk so much shit, and just the three of us having fun, and I'm sitting there going, pinch me. I'm with Paul Mooney and Richard Pryor right now. Like, who am I? Like, it was like so surreal those years. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I have a lot of good stories that you don't know. I'll have to tell you sometime. I have to write a book.
How about the stories that no one knows? Like, you can't tell, like, oh, man, I had to bury that body.
Yep,
I'm sure you have a lot of that.
A lot of body. Yeah, I know a lot of things that are, we can't talk about.
Yeah. It's always with comedians. It's always like, there's always like, oh, there's the great stories, and there's like, oh, yeah, that one time.
Yeah.
That one fucked up time.
Oh, yeah. Well, comedy is the one industry that's completely not regulated, and you work alone. Like, it's whatever regulations you have.
Right.
Versus what you have or what the next guy has. Like, it's so... And we're fucked up. We're just sad clowns. We just want outside adoration to fill the empty hole in our soul.
So what about, like, comedy today, right? So I started around 98, actually. 98,
right, okay.
Late 98. And I feel like a lot of people who start out ask me, like, oh, so how was it different back then? It must have been a great time. See, to me, like, the comedy boom ended around, like, 1989 when everyone got their TV shows.
Right.
And then after that, it was basically over by 1989. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, if you got in, it was just like, nothing's really changed.
Right.
For, like, now decades. Like, someone started now, there's really no difference than someone starting, like, 99. Because it's the same thing. There's like oversaturated mics, bringer shows, and you have to kind of think outside the box to like have a career for yourself, you know?
Yeah, and I've had this conversation many times. Like with the mid '90s, it was the comedy drop. It was like people weren't going to clubs. The internet had just been invented, so people were staying home more. There was a writer's strike in 2000, and then there was like. But people didn't go out much, and comedy had just tanked. So, like, we would have to go to the hotels around on Sunset Boulevard. We'd pass out flyers out by the Whiskey A Go-Go after shows, or we'd put flyers in windshields.
Laundromats, doing shows at laundromats,
putting flyers up on poles everywhere we could. We'd take the Comedy Store tickets, like Mitzi had laminated tickets, like 2 for 1, and we'd take stacks of them to all the hotels and give them to the concierge. Say, hey, give these to your patrons, and it's free tickets. So, and they just have to do the 2-drink minimum. So that was just the way how we would get people in somehow. Because there was times when it'd be 8 o'clock show. It wouldn't start till like 9:30, quarter to 10, because there was no audience. And it was insane. And it was just like such a dark day. So we had to get creative back then. And we didn't have the internet.
Right.
We didn't have, TikTok videos to get us out there. We hustled. And you had to be good to get booked.
Blowjobs! Blowjobs! We'll give you a blowjob if you come in our show.
Finger your corn shoot if you sit in the front row, fucker. But yeah, we got the laundromat shows. Oh my God, the strip club shows, the coffee shops, all the weird spots that we would do shows.
I think the difference now is weird is that I feel like it's become a celebrity culture now. So even clubs now, like the Cellar, like when I started wasn't like the main big club it is today. Now, ever since Louis C.K. did that show, then it became like, oh, this is the rock and roll club, and then they sailed with that. They took that opportunity. They took that
and ran.
Yeah.
Louis saved the Cellar.
Oh yeah, that's why they didn't ban him. They knew. They knew.
Yeah. They would put little like little things. What's it called? What's the word? I'm retarded.
Little
disclaimers.
Oh yeah.
Like, if there's anything that offends you, just let us know. Like, are you kidding?
Right.
People are going to pretend they're offended, get all their money back, and still see Louis C.K.
Right. Yeah, like he got canceled, and then a year later he headlined like this Madison Square Garden with "I'm Sorry" tour.
That was a great tour, though.
Yeah.
It was a great tour.
But you know what? Please cancel me. Okay, say something. Yeah.
We'll go on the road together as the canceled duo.
Yeah. I did all the bad things. All the bad things. They call him the Black Trump. Let's leave it at that.
I did everything right, and they indicted me.
Yeah. Collusion, retribution.
Book me.
Yeah, exactly.
He is on the worst comedy tour. His rallies are like shitty bringer shows.
Yeah.
You know that?
But they love him because he's a celebrity. He mastered that. It doesn't even matter anymore. As long as you're famous and you don't give a fuck, you
win.
Yeah, that's it.
You win.
Yeah, we're at the end of Western civilization.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing matters. It's all fucking. AI is waiting for us to just like eat ourselves, and then go, all right, now we'll take over. Now we'll make these monkeys over there like smart so they can do our bidding. Why do we need these humans? They're fucking dramatic and way
AI sitting in the dugout going, put me in, coach.
Right. Honestly, I like AI more than people now. That's yeah.
Well, you do those AI shows, right? Those AI roast battles. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I have a thing called Comedy Bites with a collective. We're a collective of comedians. Doyle Brand, Aaron Michael Staples, Harmon Leon, and Brian Stollery, where we, comedians like you, messing with AI and making funny shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? So we have like the first AI versus humans comedy roast battle, the first and only, and it's hilarious. And we should have you. And
I would love to do that.
Because you're a shit talker. So
I love shit, and I want a robot to cuss me out. That is like a dream. So Melania, if you can hear us.
Oh my God, we got
See, that's a callback, kids.
Exactly. Yeah, but I just want to pout and just like write a journal and then put it online and then get like TikTok viral. Can I just do that?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. That's what these kids are doing now. It's like no one wants to work. And you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe working is a waste of time. I'm like getting burnt out. I've got like 20 shows. I'm editing a web series that I have. I'm doing this and that. I'm filmmaking. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just like quit and just like,
just do videos of you from the neck up talking, and that's going to go viral. Like, I don't want to see anybody. Content doesn't matter. Like when I put my album out, Brutally Yours, on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere you buy your music. When I put it out, the first clip I put out was about the Roe versus Wade and about women my age still thinking they can have babies, and it's about the kid, right? I thought for sure people were going to get mad. How dare she say that? We can have baby and all this shit. No, this is the realest shit I ever saw. How come I've never heard of you? You're hilarious. And all these accolades. It only made like 5,000 views.
Did they tell their friends? Like, that's the thing. People don't understand that spread the word. That's how people got popular. That's how bands got popular back in the day.
That's how everything goes viral. You spread the word.
Right. Like, oh, hey, have you heard of this band called Nirvana? Dude, here's a tape.
Yeah.
Check it out. Tell your friend, let's all go to their next concert. Like, people don't do that anymore because they want everything pre-masticated and chewed for them, and they don't want to look bad like, oh, I'm the fan of somebody that has like less than 5,000 views.
I'm not going to let people know.
Right.
I'm ashamed.
Right. Don't you want more from that person? Like, why would you not let people know that?
Well, it's like that whole thing, like people are, like, remember in the days when we were coming up, like development deal, all the kids that got in these development deal positions, all these agents and stuff, and they were too scared to take a chance on something different or great or like the next big thing. They would hold back because they were too afraid to look stupid if it went bad. And it's like, dude, that's how you take chances, man. And they would hold back until somebody else wanted to play with it. And oh no, we saw it first.
Right.
And it's like, come on, just fucking just take a chance, people.
Right.
Hire us.
Exactly. I know, it's just so like, whatever, I've given up on hope in humanity. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. This is my last podcast.
Take a good long look at him now because he's disappearing off the face of the earth after this.
Walking towards the sunset like Sleepy Joe. Like Sleepy Joe, walking to the sunset. Where's he going? I don't know. He's sleepy.
You know what? He's sleepy, and he's still getting more shit done than Trump being awake and yelling at everybody.
Right.
Like.
By the way, By the way, the fact that like you're in your peak of your lives, right?
Right.
We still have like 80-year-old dudes in power that are like not even have any sense.
Because you have to understand that's the mentality of this country. That's what's instilled. That's why all those
take chances. And then
they're too afraid of change, and they're too afraid of getting old and feeling like they're not part of the cool kids club anymore. So they feel like if they retain an office, then I'm hanging on. Like sometimes, some old people are really cool. Like that got it. Like they have their shit together. They're funny as fuck and they get it. And there's some that are like, dang, then I don't think it's an age thing. Like I hate ageism. This country is so deeply rooted in ageism before sexism and racism. I'm telling you, you can't get old in this country. They don't revere our elderly. Our old people are left to die with no Medicare, no nothing.
They don't want to pay you. That's why. Because you get older, you have more skills, And it's like, well, you know what?
Like, fuck you.
Yeah,
ageism is such a crazy catch in this country. And it's like, I deal with it in stand-up. Mm-hmm. You know, I've had clubs tell me, you're too old to play this club, even though I just murdered the audience. And I'm like, I'm too old? Like, go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll be right back.
exactly.
But it's like, it's that whole thing. So,
I know, I'm saying, well, I'm not saying, but I stopped drinking because I was like, well, I needed money to like edit my projects, but also,
I'm proud of you.
Oh, please. Now, sometimes I'm just like, oh man, I'd really like to get wasted like everyone else so I could just not think. Because you get that hyper, like,
right.
When you're not like high, when you're like not
doing
to
someone
that.
who's totally straight edge. So.
Dude, it's just like, it's too much stupidity. Like, when the only time I drank was like, oh, let me go hang out like after a show. I never drink at home myself. Like, I'm not like, but. You know, you decompress with like, you know, the idiots, you know, you just sit down and like, all right, yeah, you want to talk about something dumb, you idiot? Sure. Now it's just like unfiltered reality with like all the idiocy and you're just like, can't you just not do that?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just going to do that. Yeah. And you're just like.
Because I feel like it.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's their excuse, well, I felt like it. Like,
right.
Wow, what a platform to stand on.
Right.
What a belief system. Because I felt like, that's why I don't talk to people.
Right.
That's why when I do my shows, I leave.
See, maybe you should drink and then you'll start talking to people.
Yeah, I can't. I lift weights. That's my drug of choice.
Exactly.
I'm addicted to the iron. I have.
Let the bodies hit the floor! Yeah!
Like, I have to lift weights or I will murder people. Mm-hmm. And I will set somebody on fire if I can't lift weights.
Yeah, man, I was doing that. Like, I was working out, but then I got jumped and hit by a truck.
What?
Yeah. This was like 2000 something, 2003 or 4. Because I was like working, I was doing my stand-up, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to. I had like a subscription to the city, which was like a $75. So the city has city gyms, right?
Right.
And you could basically use them like the Parks and Rec situation.
Okay.
And back then it was like $75 a year you could use.
Wow.
Problem was all the weights were like old as shit. So it was all like rusty and every time you used the weight your hands were green because of the rust, you know? But like I was doing that. I was going to Brooklyn College. I was doing that. I had like a subscription over there to use their gyms. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, yeah, doing great, man. Healthiest ever. And then like I was coming back home from work and then it was like during the knockout game era.
Oh,
you know, when the kids were like,
I know.
And this little pussy shit kid was like, his friends were like kind of goading him on to try to hit me. And behind me, I was like, so he did this little tap on me, not even a punch. And I was like, what the fuck? And they all tried to crowd on me. And I took out my box cutter because I had it for work. And I was just like, hey, fuck, do not today. Because I got punched in the face earlier that month hard. Jesus. From another kid, right? Well, you know, the hood, right? Yeah. So, but the problem was there was like a Mexican standoff because it was just like, okay, he's got a box cutter, and then there's 5 people, and it was like, so I was like, all right, stay where you are. I got off the sidewalk, and then boom, a truck hit me, and that's when I realized that either there's no God or there is a God, and he really hates me. So I don't know which is better or worse. But yeah. But I didn't break anything. I just was like incapacitated for like a month or so. And I could have lost a leg. So
well, maybe because you were working out that you were stronger and able to take a blow from a truck.
Right. I was in my Incredible Hulk era, as the kids would say, right? Yeah. Do you like that stupid phrase when kids go, "I'm in my blink, blink, blink era"?
Yeah. That's what the kids. Yeah. I'm in my go fuck yourself era. That's where I'm at. 53. Go fuck yourself era.
Right. I feel like all these kids now today are just like, what are those books like where like you fill in the words with the what do you call that? Not Blue's Clues, but like.
I just remember Choose Your Own Adventure book.
Right. That's the thing. It's like they talk in Choose Your Own Adventure-ese.
They're just idiots. Like, and I was thinking back, and I was talking to my buddy Eric Marino, and I was like, "Were we that dumb?" And he goes, "Yeah, we were." And I'm like, and then I look back, I go, "Yeah, we were kind of stupid." But that's how kids have to learn. And the good thing about us Gen Xers, is that we didn't have the internet. We weren't spoiled rotten with technology. We had to literally go out and play kick the can. Remember that game?
Yeah.
And smear the queer. Remember that game?
No, because I'm a millennial. Okay, you're Gen X. Okay.
Fucking asshole.
I'm an old millennial. I was born in '81. The Birth of Frogger, that game that you played.
That I played when it was brand new.
Yeah.
I was born in 1970, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You were in 81?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fuck this guy. I hate him already. But yeah, it's like we learned by falling down and skinning our knees.
Right,
we learned by touching the hot stove. Why can't I touch it? Well, what did I do? Oh. I'm a little retarded. Just ignore me. I'm technologically challenged. But my mom, why can't I touch the stove? All right, give me your hand.
Right.
That's why. Okay.
Right.
And these kids don't know. They've been in bubble wrap their whole lives, and now they're outside. Yeah. Let them all fall and get hit by a bus. That's what I want to happen.
That reminds me. I think I have like a scar still from like when I was like a 5-year-old child because I was like, let me see. Does this hurt? That the iron thing.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa! And then it was like a little birthmark not a birthmark, but it was like a injury mark. Yeah, forever. Yeah. So you had to do that back then. Now kids are just like, no, here's a nanny. Yeah. Protect them forever.
Here, wrap the kid in bubble wrap and send him off to school in an Uber.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great to have parents? Jeez.
Right. Remember those days?
Right. Days.
The minute?
Yeah. Second. I was raised by my grandparents, so yeah. Grandparents, grandmother and grandparents, they don't want to raise grandkids, okay? Because they're retired, and it's like, I
already did this.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, great. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Exactly. Right.
Damn.
Right.
But,
do what you want. I don't care anymore.
Just kill yourself. Just be home by 8.
Exactly. I've got spare grandkids. Yeah. With parents.
Yeah. That go home at night.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. But, so you started in 98, right in the heyday of when the bringer shows were invented and all that shit. So how, did you, with the clubs here, because you grew up here and I was in LA, how did you navigate the clubs back then, even though it was in that weird transitional time frame of bringers and shit clubs and shit audiences? And
well, I started when I was 17. I was still in high school, and I didn't know where to begin, right?
Right.
So I think I started by calling up comedy clubs, and I was just like, hey, so how do you get up and do comedy in your, because I'm interested. And then I think I talked to a kid, and you were like, one of the clubs was like, oh, yeah, sure, we'll let you go on. Bring your friends. But I was like, yeah, I'm in high school. I don't have friends. I'm like I'm like a nerd. Or, I don't have, if I had friends, I wouldn't want to do comedy. Yeah. Right? And they're like, all right, maybe do open mics. And I was like, oh, what's an open mic? And he was like, get a time out in New York and you'll see. And
right.
So then I found all these mics. And I went to Gladys's open mic.
Nice.
Which was in Times Square back then. They had like a Tuesday open mic. And it was like a 5 o'clock mic or something.
Yes,
so I went
she's still doing it at 5:30. Gladys Simon, for those of you who don't know, she's a legend in the New York comedy scene of developing young talent. And she has been at the comic strip for like 30 years. And she's here every Thursday night at 5:30. And then she does her pro show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We love Gladys. Gladys and I have the same birthday.
Oh, wow. Was that? Oh,
September 15th.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But
she's 5 years younger than me.
Right. So, yeah. So then I start doing that, and then you start talking to other comedians.
Right.
And then there was like the New York Comedy Club open mic.
Right.
Which was like later at 7. Ooh. Right? So you're like, oh, okay.
So controversial.
Yeah, exactly. And then I met a kid that was doing a mic there. I forgot his name was Steve Y. Who was like a weird, he's a weird kid.
His last name says it all. Why?
Yeah, he definitely was that type of vibe. He was like the type of kid that would go to like the alternative mics.
Right.
But he was passing out like a flyer with all the mics in New York City.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, cool, Surf Reality. There was also You know Brody Stevens? Remember him?
I miss Brody every day. That was my dude.
He had Eating It at Eureka Joe's.
Yep.
So it's an industry showcase.
You got it.
You got it. Who's going to get in? We got slots here. Sorry, Judah Friedlander headlining. Maybe one or two of you losers could get on, but you got to show up. You got to put your name on the bucket, and we'll see. But you got to know, comedy's not easy. All right, I'm Brody Stevens. I'm easy. All right, I'm an athlete. This comes natural to me. All right, I'm a model in Pakistan. All right.
I get BO in the shower.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I miss him.
My mother hated me. Yeah. So yeah, doing that. That's when I really saw like, oh, this is like the kooky, this is like the
wackadoos.
Yeah. So then I started doing more of that stuff. And, again, you start developing your own brand of humor. I did have like I did do the what do you call it? The Harlem, what's that? The Apollo audition.
Oh, okay.
So I said
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So I said to myself, all right, let me just do that, right? And then I could do all these mics and I have like a goal.
Sure.
And if I do all right, then maybe I'll continue. If I don't,
right.
Yeah. So I did that, bombed my ass off horribly. I had a trench coat on like a Columbine kid with my hat backwards, and I was a chubby kid. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. And I was just going to mics, and I was just like, I'm going to do mean shit. I'm going to go. I was doing rape jokes. And I was like a menace, you know? Like I would either be canceled if that kid was around now, or I'd be like the next big like school shooter comedian that's like, oh no, he's 17, he's doing rape jokes.
See, just blame it on the Apollo.
Exactly. Think pieces. Think pieces. Black rage in the 21st century. Trump comes out. I don't like this. So you got this Todd Montessi. I don't like it.
No, you're Trump Montessi.
Yeah, Trump Montessi. Yeah. It sounds like a horrible rapper that's like totally successful.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
And he's on TikTok.
Yeah, and I have my own like comedy show on like BET, like Trump Montessi's hour, y'all.
Yo, Bigly.
Yo, she Bigly, all right. Christy Miller.
Yo, that ass be Bigly as fuck, yo.
Let me my catchphrase. Yo. Just imagine doing that every day of your life.
All day, all night.
Yeah. Yeah, if people calling you back,
And then the wrist gets slit and it's over.
And then Nirvana. There you go. That's a callback. Callback.
So, Crashing. Mm-hmm. HBO's Crashing.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so what do you call that? Pete Holmes got me on it because when he started doing stand-up in New York from Chicago, I was one of the first people that gave him spots.
Right.
I was like, because, all right, so here's another thing. So I think we skipped the story.
Okay.
So I basically started producing my own shows because A, I'm an asshole New Yorker, and B, I was just like, I can't bring people. Let me just like...
do your own.
Yeah. I saw people were doing like laundromat shows, and I was like, okay, I could maybe try it at a bar instead of a laundromat.
Yeah. Well, that's kooky.
Yeah. So I was...
It's a 2 fabric software minimum.
Yeah. So long story short, I had him. So I started shows at the Grizzly Pear. I started that room when it was like the Village Ma. And long story short, it got taken from me from this comedian. I don't know if he does it anymore. Who was like this horrible dude, and he was
names.
Do you remember Sal Froyo?
No.
I don't know if he's still around anymore.
Obviously, he's not because no one knows who he is.
He used to get up at the Cellar. He used to run the open mic over there because he was dating Lynn Koplitz. Yeah. Yeah. So he was trying to double dip because he was trying to do started his own stand-up show at Comedy Club at the Tribeca Lounge, wherever that is. But that failed. And then he lives in Greenwich Village, so he was hanging out at the shows we were producing at, and like I gave him a spot, he started hanging out and stuff. We'd be friends. But then, like, he started talking with the owner about producing his own comedy club, bringing it over there. And that's when, like, issues happened. And then the whole...
Right.
It's my fault that the West Village is oversaturated with comedy, guys. There you go. So,
Blame Todd.
Yeah. I actually had to sit down with Ava, who's the mother of Noam.
Right. Yes.
Because, like, of that situation. And I was going to be the...
Noam is the owner of the Comedy Cellar.
Right. And Ava's the mother.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And, like, I was actually going to be... I was gifted the mic to the Cellar to host it, which...
Right.
I wanted to get up and do spots. I wanted to audition. I didn't want to, like, mic... But as a kid, yeah.
Right.
But I only lasted 1 week because Eric Hansen, who's like a... Whatever, what he is, agent manager guy, he, collusion. He moved over to get his client to host it. So yeah, and honestly, I wanted to like actually get an audition. I wanted like actual spots, not to host a mic. Well, now 42-year-old Todd would be like, "Oh, I'd host a mic."
Yeah,
I'm a yes man. God, I wish I was a fucking smarter yes man instead of growing up with assholes.
Well, that's what we do in our 20s, honey.
Yeah.
We were assholes. We were all fucking assholes.
I wasn't even an asshole. It's just that I was like strong-willed.
Yeah, but when I say asshole, it kind of encompasses all of that. All of our stubbornness, all of our dumbness, all of our, I'm better than that guy, and all that bullshit. You know, it's not just being mean. It's just about being in your own way.
Right,
You're an asshole.
Yeah. And honestly, too, like, who would have thought about business and comedy when you're like 22?
You don't, because you're a kid and you're not supposed to.
So, right. Because I just want to get better as a stand-up. I was like, that's what I thought. I thought,
because you were a comic.
Right.
Yeah.
But now you're just like, dude, don't even be funny. Just be on TV, okay? Yeah. Just be famous, okay? And then everything else will come after, okay?
Right. Hello.
Yeah.
So now lead that to Pete Holmes and Crashing.
Okay, so I was giving him spots, but I remember he stopped doing my show because he was working with Dustin Chafin, who I had beef with, and basically he took his side. That's a very
common beef.
He was at least to me, he was a horrible person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you're friends with him. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I think he left to LA or something.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I think it's either LA or Texas. I think he's in LA. I wasn't friends with him. He was never nice to me, so I just ignored him.
Because he didn't have anything to use you with or something. I'm
like, I have nothing that you want, so you're not going to be nice to me. Okay, bye.
Hey, listen, I'm a cowboy, okay?
Girl, I'd like to see you get on a fucking horse.
Punk rock cowboy. Anyway, so he...
Girl.
Yes. So he took his side because he had more stage time.
Of course.
Even though I had stage time, he had more, because he had And I think that Pete probably gave me, like, I got a call out of the blue about doing it to host a mic on, like, the Grizzly Pear.
Sure.
And to introduce him. I think that was part of it. I think that was his way of, being
apologizing,
like, probably,
or paying you back for all the support you gave him when nobody loved him.
Right. I just wish they kept me on the show, like, more than one moment.
Episode.
Yeah. I actually even wrote like an outline, like pitched an outline episode for him too. I was like, hey, this was before ChatGPT, where you actually had to write down the perfect fucking diplomatic note and all that stuff. And it was a good idea for an episode. It was like basically, so I'd worked the lantern. I had the lantern for a minute.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. The Village Lantern, which is now something else now.
The comedy shop.
Yeah. Is it good? Have you done it?
Yeah, I've done it.
But the glory days, it was like a downstairs little
lantern. I loved the lantern. It was underground, cool. It was dark, and it was fun.
Yeah. It was a good like West Village room, Yeah. One time, I bought, it was a snowstorm, like a bad snowstorm, but I was still in the area, and I was the only barker for my own room, and I packed the room. But there was no comics. So I was like running to and fro, like trying to find comics to do the show. Like I was like going to like the cell, like, hey Jim, if you want to do my show?
Packed.
Yeah.
I need comics.
And people and those clubs were empty, and you're like, yeah, okay, kid. Yeah. And I'm like, no, seriously. I think Jim Norton did do that show.
I would not be surprised that he did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he would do it.
Yeah, because because the other ones were closed. It was like there was no one to sell. This was pre Louis C.K., pre like huge, rock star level.
Yep.
And like, yeah, it was just hilarious that like we pulled it off. We had a show, and I wrote like a little outline for it.
Right.
He did
That's a funny idea though that he could have done, and he didn't do it. So.
He did a minor version of it where like they had Artie Lang, but Artie Lang was missing, so they were running around to find a comic
that looked like him
to fit for the charity. Yeah, for the charity.
All right.
To like, oh well, we can't find Artie Lang. Let's go. Yeah, but you know.
All right. Okay. Well, I love that you were on the show. I love you so much for being here, and you're one of my favorite comics. You have to check out Todd Montessi. He's so brilliant.
Thank you.
I love to wrap up the show with these two questions because they're fun.
I already forgot the questions, so I didn't like do my homework.
Perfect.
So
okay,
yeah,
great.
this will be like very candid. You're gonna be candidly.
So first question, and everybody has these bits. Is there a comic that wrote a bit that you went, God damn, that is brilliant. I wish I had written that. And what bit is it?
I'd probably say Chris Rock's like black people versus niggas.
Oh, that's a brilliant bit.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a brilliant bit, yes.
Even before I did stand up when I was a kid, I was just like, man, I wish I thought it's one of those
so obvious.
Right.
It's right in front of your face and we look around it.
But you can't say it. Like not everyone can say it, you know. It's one of those things like you're not supposed to say out loud, you know. And I kind of miss that in comedy, and I still try to.
Still do it.
Yeah,
you know me.
Yeah.
You know me. I just don't. I did a gig out in Valley Stream. I had Kenny Warren open for me. It was a black room. You know, those are my favorite. And this old guy, but he's a new jack in the game. He's like, "Yo, man, you're so funny, bitch. Man, you are old school. You do comedy old school." And I said, yeah, like funny? And we laughed. I go, I am very old school.
Right,
but those were the days. And I still maintain that because I want to preserve that.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking like the shock. Yeah, that shock value where it's like, oh, I'm out of the bullshit haze of reality. This is real, you know?
My comedy is a spa day for your brain because there is so much crap outside and there's so much to deal with and life sucks and everything's hard and everything's due and everything's
so fake.
Yeah, and it's like when I do jokes, it's just like take a break, let your brain shut off and hear dumb shit for an hour, and then you can be laughing and refreshed, and then you can deal with life.
Right? Yeah. Like that's the kind of the curse of being a comedian. It's like you've gone through so much shit.
Yep.
That you're just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Like that moment of enlightenment.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a curse because like all the fucking crazy then starts coming to you like a magnet.
Yeah.
And it's just
I just ignore it.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I Deion Sanders the whole thing.
Right.
It's my dude. Okay.
Right.
And last but not least, because I did open for Paul Mooney for 100 years, he would end his shows with street jokes, but he would Mooney-ize them, which was brilliant. He would destroy. So, and us being comics too, and we're old school, sitting around the green room telling funny jokes. What is your go-to street joke that you like to tell?
Oh my God. Like street joke. When people go, hey, tell me a joke.
Yeah.
Which I hate. I actually made one.
Oh, okay. It's an OG one. Okay. I like this.
Because I hate when people ask me that.
Right.
So, all right. Wait, what was that? Because now I'm thinking of another street joke. Oh, okay.
Just do whatever street joke.
What do you call a Jamaican conservative?
What?
A Rastafari. Oh my God. I know. That's. Yeah. There's also that joke. What's that? That's a Todd Montessi original. Sadly.
That is it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It makes you think for a second. Like, You can still make new street jokes. Okay.
Yeah.
I've proven it.
Well, because life goes on.
Yeah.
And there's new things to make fun of, new stereotypes, new stupid shit. Yeah.
Problem is, not a lot of comedians are from the streets. You know.
Yo.
They're not living that street life. You know, right?
Street life.
Also,
Sorry. So, okay, what's the other one you were gonna do?
There's that classic one I remember as a kid, right?
Right.
There's like a white kid named Michael Mercado, like a white Puerto Rican kid.
Okay.
And he'd go like, hey, how come blacks are good at basketball?
Why?
Because they're Negroes.
Good night.
Right. Well, you want to do more? Let's make this a street joke podcast.
Right? I love street jokes. They're so dumb and so great.
Yeah.
But
come on, you gotta. What do you think about my?
I love your Rastafari.
That's original, right? That's you ever,
Never heard it.
Yeah,
and that's
right,
a Todd Montessi original. You need to copyright it and.
It's gonna be on my tombstone.
Right?
What do you call it to make a conservative? A Rastafari. Todd Montessi, 2024. What?
Oh, God, I love you. I love you so much. Tell everybody where they can find you on the socials and your comedy shows.
Find me at Montikilla, Montikilla, at multiple platforms. Also, Todd.Montessi on Facebook, if people still use that. I mean, I don't even use that anymore.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Montikilla Vision, and Montikilla Vision, same thing with the vision at the end. Mm-hmm. And check out PN and Friends. It's my comedic web series. There's a weird crypto group that that stole my brand's name and built off that, but they'll get what they'll get, I'm sure. When I say that, there's going to be a lot of funny content. So look out for that.
Thanks for being here, and thanks you guys for listening to another episode of Old School New School Comedy Podcast, brought to you from the actual comic strip here in New York City. I've been Christy Miller. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show. Deuces.